it is Channon Rose. You guys asked me to do a wedding series and I decided why not. If you're watching this video, this is going to be the first video in the series. I was so excited, but I had no idea where to start. So I'm just going to tell you what I learned, so hopefully this can help you out if you don't have any idea about anything. So this is kind of like a basic video how-to on weddings. I would say the very first thing to do before you even pick a date is to make a Pinterest board if you don't have one already. I had a Pinterest board. I was planning my wedding long before I met my fiance, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. A girl can dream, right? Titled my dream wedding, and I started pinning things that I love. So I already had all this stuff built up, but if you don't have anything like that yet, I would suggest just to start pinning things to get an idea. Then the second thing that you're gonna wanna do is to pick a date. This is really important because if you pick a date during wedding season, and if you don't know what month's wedding season is, look that up because everything is more expensive and it's also really booked up that year for wedding season. So I originally thought I'm definitely gonna have my wedding not during wedding season, everything will be cheaper, but when I got engaged, I didn't want to wait that long, so I am actually going to be having my wedding during wedding season. Definitely pick a date. That's the thing that you need to do, and you need to think about, do I want to pick my date during wedding season or out of wedding season? What kind of wedding do you want to have? Do you want like a themed wedding? Do you want to do something in the snow when it's December maybe, like around Christmas time where everything's magical and all the towns and cities are all, you know, decorated with lights everywhere and there's just like cheer in the air and people are happier? That's all stuff that like you need to think about. For me personally, I didn't really care. I just really wanted to get married, and I think that the main thing was I didn't want to have it during wedding season because I was paying for the wedding by myself and I knew it would probably be a lot more expensive. The next thing that I would think is really important, at least it was for me, was to pick your bridesmaids and maid of honor. I originally thought I need to pick my bridesmaids and maid of honors because they're gonna help me figure out all this wedding stuff and they're gonna help me do everything. I need to hurry up and decide who those people are gonna be so that they can start helping me. Well, I picked my bridesmaids and I just sent out a really cute little card to each of them, you know, asking to be my bridesmaid or maid of honor. And this was really hard for me because I don't like hurting people's feelings, and I felt like if I didn't ask certain people that they would get upset with me or, you know, feel bad, and I really didn't want people to feel bad. And also, I didn't know who to make my maid of honor because I have two sisters and I have, you know, one friend that I've known for a really long time. I was like, oh man, what do I do? And so I made 3 maid of honors, so I have both sisters and my one really close friend. Because I couldn't decide and I didn't want to hurt anybody's feelings, and I thought, you know what, this is my wedding and it doesn't have to be so traditional. It's my and my fiance's day and we want to make it the best day that we possibly can, and so why not have 3 maid of honors? And you know what, if you want to do something that's like out of the norm, do it. It's your day. You can do whatever you want. It doesn't have to be set in stone or so traditional. You can change things here and there. Who cares? Make it customized to what you want and what's going to make you happy at the end of the day. The next thing is pick your venue. So that's the next thing that you're going to want to do, is definitely pick your venue, because one, if this is a nice wedding venue or it's somewhere that's really popular and really great, like a great place, it's going to be booked up in advance. The place where I'm getting married, I think, was booked like 2 or 3 years in advance. I had to pick a Sunday if I wanted to have that place, and normally people have weddings on Saturday. If you also want to save money and you don't want like a big elaborate wedding, you can always do a wedding during a weekday. That will be a lot cheaper also, so that's just something to keep in mind. The next thing I would say is to think about vendors, and vendors are basically your videographer, your photographer, your florist, your wedding planner, a travel agent for your honeymoon, stuff like that. My wedding, it already includes all the food and drinks, so that is also something that you want to think about. Some people that don't have the budget, they might not do like dinners or, you know, brunch or whatever. You might think about just doing like a dessert maybe, or like, you know, a candy bar or something like that. For me, when I thought of my vendors, I was like, okay, what are the most important vendors to me? Because those are the ones I want to book first. And also I want most of my budget going to those things before I think about other things like flowers, which I wasn't really too concerned about. So my main two vendors were a videographer and a photographer, mainly because that is what I will have, other than memories. I'll be able to look back on those things after the wedding, and I think to me those were the most important things that I wanted, and I wanted someone really, really good. Because I come from an entertainment background, I am very picky about video and photography. Because I've worked with some amazing videographers and photographers, I wanted to see that same quality in my wedding photographer and videographer. So I did a lot of research on that, and that's where a lot of my money went, and those were the main vendors that I picked first because I wanted to make sure they weren't going to be booked already on my wedding day. So definitely keep that in mind, especially if you're having your wedding during wedding season. You do not want to like slack on hiring your vendors, because most likely all the good vendors will be booked up already for those dates, and then you're kind of just gonna have to get the leftovers of what people didn't want for vendors. So definitely get on that. After you've picked your favorite vendors that were most important to you, pick out the rest of your vendors. So for me, florist, a photo booth, a DJ, lighting, things like that. Those are the next things that you want to start looking and researching and making meetings with those vendors. Now, I would definitely suggest to get a wedding planner. They have some on Amazon, they have them everywhere. So definitely get a wedding planner, because that also helps you, and it already has stuff inside the book telling you like what you should do and checklists and blah 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 and all these different things. But just don't get overwhelmed when you start looking through that stuff, because when I opened my wedding planner, I was like, oh hell no, there is no way I'm gonna be doing all of this stuff. And you don't have to do everything by the books. Like I said, remember, this is your day, customize it to what you want. There's so many things that are not gonna be in my wedding that are in most weddings, just because that stuff's not important to Travis and I. We are adding in different things that are important to us and that we're really gonna like, and that kind of makes your wedding more intimate and customized and really cool. The last thing I would say to do is like all the detail stuff, like escort cards and table settings and wedding favors, stuff like that. I would say save to last. You'll have more time to do that stuff, like all detail things, but definitely get the big things done first and out of the way, and then you'll feel a lot less stressed. So those are my top tips for when you first get engaged, what to do. If I missed anything that I didn't talk about in the video and that you guys think is something good that we should all know, please feel free to leave them down in the comments below. I love reading your tips, and I'm still not married yet, so I'm still planning my wedding at this point, and I would love any advice and any tips that you guys have for me and for the rest of the people watching these videos. I love you guys all so much. Thanks for watching this video. I'm sending you all my love and all my positive energy, and I hope to see you in my next video. Bye guys.